First there was Naruto, then came Naruto Shippuden. But the time has come for the next generation of Naruto anime stories to be told by Boruto Uzumaki, the son of everyone's favorite orange-clad ninja Naruto. So join me, my friends, as I review the very first episode of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. To boldly go where no ninja has gone before. You just can't escape the Naruto franchise, can ya? I mean, the ending of Naruto Shippuden ended like a full 2 years after the end of its manga adaptation, so you know that Kishimoto is not going to be giving up this story that simply. What I will say is, the first episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations was pretty damn satisfying, especially considering how similar yet how different it actually does feel from the old Naruto episodes. A lot of that, of course, is owed to the brand new cast. Maybe it's the brand new, super sleek look of Konoha Village, which has completely modernized itself. Maybe it's the expert directing expertise of Hiroyuki Yamashita, a man who has worked on some of the greatest episodes in Naruto history. What I will say is this episode was certainly a breath of fresh air, and it really does feel like a great continuation of the Naruto story with some brand new characters. What's most interesting about this anime adaptation is how not only is it adapting some portions from the Boruto manga, but it's also carving out its very own story, with the opening scene being taken directly from the very first chapter, and right after that we get a whole episode of brand new material that we haven't even seen. And if you're confused about the timeline, that's okay, I was too. Apparently this takes place before the Boruto movie, because as we all know, the main story in that film is that there was a Chunin exam. This episode is all about Boruto actually going to the Ninja Academy for the very first time, as well as running into some bullies, making some friends, and discovering that he has some hidden powers of his own. So let's just start from the beginning. The very first scene is awesome. We get this shot of Konoha Village, which has been completely destroyed in some sort of massive battle, and we get to see that an older teenaged version of Boruto is throwing down with this guy by the name of Kawaki, who has a mohawk and these weird red markings on his arms and on his face. And according to Kawaki, he might have actually killed Naruto in some sort of epic battle, but Boruto is not going to be backing down, and he has this like weird marking on his face when suddenly he puts on his headband and he activates what seems to be some form of Byakugan. Which makes sense, his mother is Hinata, so it only makes sense that he would be able to inherit some of her abilities. What's interesting is this is unlike any other form of Byakugan that we have ever seen, especially because encircling the actual eye is this black patch, almost as if it kind of reminds me of something from Sage Mode. It might even be a combination of these two techniques, and again that would make sense, as Boruto himself takes a lot of inspiration from his father, not just in the actual design of the character, but in a lot of his movesets. Just like his father, he seems to be quite proficient in using the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which he uses to great effect throughout this episode. So Boruto and Kawaki clash as they're running sideways on Mount Ninjamore, and boom! That's all you get. We immediately cut to what apparently is the present day, with Boruto hanging out in the brand new, super modern Konoha Village. This is a great way to show you how far Konoha has come, because not only is it like 3 times the size of the original, but there's way more houses, there's trains going around all over the place, there's more modern technology, and a lot more people. It is freaking jumping around here. And then, of course, we have the character of Boruto Uzumaki. It opens up with this great scene of watching him do all this really cool ninja parkour around the city, which is basically just an excuse for the animators to say, hey, look, we still got this, don't worry, we're gonna deliver some amazing action sequences. And Boruto is joined by the character of Shikadai, who is the son of Shikamaru, and I love this scene, because one, it establishes these characters, it shows that they're friends, and despite the fact that they look like carbon copies of their fathers, they are very different. They have very different personalities, especially Boruto himself, who, originally when I saw him, I always saw him as like just another Naruto, but there's a big difference between these two characters, one of them being that Boruto's not an outcast. He is very proficient in using ninja abilities, and he has no aspirations to be like the great Hokage or to be super recognized just like his dad. He just wants to live a leisurely and really cool life, which is something that I really like about his character. He's very laid back and go with the flow, very different from Naruto himself. The scene itself is really fun, considering that both of the characters, after doing this ninja parkour sequence, jump on top of this train, and they're basically there just to chill and eat hamburgers, as they're preparing for this big Ninja Academy entrance ceremony. But Shikadai ends up getting sidetracked because, of course, he has to look up to his father, and he doesn't want to get any scolding. Boruto decides to goof off a little bit more, but this actually ends up benefiting him as he ends up running into this kid by the name of Denki, who is getting bullied by all of these creeps. And Boruto shows up, and he's like hanging out on this wire all ninja-like, and the stupid kids even ask, "What is this guy, a ninja? Of course he's a friggin' ninja, just look at him." And that's when we get this great sequence of him jumping down, activating some clones, beating up the bullies, taking their money, and saving this kid Denki. This scene is highly reminiscent of me to the very first episode of One Piece, where Luffy meets this kid by the name of Kobe, who's very timid and has aspirations of wanting to be something much greater. And that's basically what's going on here. Denki is also going to be going to the Ninja Academy, but not of his own volition. He's going there because of his very pushy father, who apparently was a ninja in the 4th Great Ninja War, and he's also the owner of that massive train company, so he basically has a lot of pull in Konoha, and that's why he's able to push his son around so much. But Boruto reassures him that really he needs to do the things that he wants to do. He has to carve out his very own history for himself. And this leads to one of the weirder scenes of the episode that, frankly, I'm sure is going to develop as the series is going on. There's a scene where Denki is confronted by his father and basically gets beaten by him, and as he's leaving, he gets suddenly bitten by this weird chakra snake, which comes from out of nowhere. I don't know what this thing is, I don't know who it belongs to, but the fact that some sort of evil chakra-like entity has actually made its way into Konoha Village and hasn't been noticed by any of these super high-level ninja speaks to the ability of what it can do. Why it targets Denki, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's actually going after Boruto and it realizes that it's actually close to him. But this leads to the second half of the episode where Denki, who is now being controlled by this weird, freaky, evil snake, actually decides to go back and fight those bullies by trapping them inside of a train and then having the train move on the tracks and collide with another one that is on the same rail. This leads to Boruto jumping in and being the hero during this really great sequence where not only does he get to save the day, but he actually manages to dispel the evil chakra snake from Denki and allow him to use his own strengths to end up helping these guys out in this fantastic sequence where they change the tracks at the last second by having Boruto create this chain of clones from his body with Denki holding on to the other end, Boruto actually grabbing the railing, pulling it over, and then exploding his clones in midair. It's such a great sequence right here, and what I love most about it is that it solidifies Denki and Boruto as essentially best friends at this point. And Denki is a character who doesn't even exist in any of the manga chapters yet. The fact that he does not appear in the manga maybe means something bad is going to happen to this character. Maybe they just haven't had a formal way to introduce him. Denki doesn't seem like he's going to be like some sort of super-powered character or anything. He's very timid. In fact, he basically wants to use his knowledge of ninjutsu to basically make his company better. He wants to incorporate it into technology. And Boruto seems completely okay with that. That's what's most interesting about this episode right here, is that these characters are not trying to live up to the ideals and be their parents. They want to be their very own thing, and they finally have an opportunity to do that in the brand new Boruto anime series. So what's the rundown? On the very first episode of the series, I have so many other things to say. What I loved most about this episode was how well animated it was. It looked so good, and so much more bright and colorful than some of the other episodes of Naruto Shippuden that I have seen, which tend to go into darker territory and be a little more muted. The brand new look of Konoha combined with a brand new intro of Boruto lets you know that this is a youthful, super poppy, beautiful looking show. And I'm okay with that. I want it to look different than Naruto Shippuden, and I want it to have a different feel while still retaining some of those classic elements of the Naruto series. And honestly, I think by that, the first episode freaking accomplished that in every single way. Not only did it open up with some great teasing for what's going to be happening in the future with some really crazy explosive action, but it did a better job of actually showing off Boruto for the very first time than either the manga or the movie. It lets us get to know these characters a little bit more and see them as less than just carbon copies of their parents. And that's something that I can really appreciate, because it has taken me a long time to actually like the character of Boruto. Originally, I'm just like, he's just mini Naruto. but the more content I see, especially in this anime version, I'm starting to appreciate his character all the bit more. I also do like the fact that we are going to get to see him going to the academy. I know a lot of people want to move on to the next big arc of the series, but I really want to see how this development is going to go. I want to see all of these brand new characters, which if the episode was any indication, we are going to see a lot of them. Not only are they in the intro, but there's a lot of them that you get to see during the whole big entrance ceremony, which, man, wasn't that entrance that both Boruto and Denki made at the end of the episode fantastic when they crashed the train right into Naruto's head on Mount Ninjamore? That was really, really funny. It was almost as if Boruto was giving a big middle finger to his father right there, and I thought that was really funny. It's also important that we got to see a little bit of Boruto's family life, considering the fact that this is early on in the story. He has kind of a chip on his shoulder about his relationship with his father. When he's the Hokage, he's a busy man, so he can't be around the family all the time for family dinners and just hanging out with them and enjoying their company. And this really upsets Boruto a lot. And it really upsets him to see his sister upset Himawari, who, God, she is so freaking cute. And then, of course, there is Hinata, who has grown into one hell of a woman, but a very stern one. According to Boruto, she can be quite feisty and a little fiery, maybe even more so than Naruto, which is a quality that I did not expect to see from her, but honestly, she plays the role of the mother really well. There's another subplot towards the end which I do believe connects with the scene that you see at the beginning of the episode, where when Boruto actually notices Denki walking towards the bullies, he sees that weird black chakra that's covering his body, the one that was given to him by the snake. And when he sees this, his weird Byakugan type eye seems to activate without him even trying. And again, it has that weird look with the black around it, and it happens a couple more times in the episode, and even he is not quite sure what is going on. I think this is a really interesting element, and it's another, again, something else that's going to differentiate Boruto from his father. That the fact that he is not a Jinchuriki, so he'll be able to develop his very own special abilities, and frankly, I can't wait to see those. I can't wait to see more of the amazing team dynamics that we're going to see in the series, because at this point, we haven't even seen the scene where he's going to be a part of Sarada and Mitsuki's team. We get the introduction of Choji's daughter in this episode. We get Konohamaru basically making Boruto look like a chump at the end when they have this little fighting sequence that is really well animated, by the way. There are so many great elements about this first episode. I loved it. It was a fantastic introduction to this new world, which felt new and old all at the same time, and it's something that all Naruto fans, I really think, should check out, especially those who've been following the series for a long time. I didn't expect to like the first episode as much as I did, but my biggest fear still lies, are they going to redo the movie story? Are they going to go through all of that again? And if they do, how in the hell are they going to live up to the animation of that film? The Boruto movie is solid as hell. It probably is my favorite Naruto movie by a long shot. Not only does it have an important story, but like I said, the action sequences in that movie are like freaking sex on toast. They're just awesome. So this was a great first episode, a fantastic introduction to the series, and I'm really glad that it's back. I'm ready for some brand new stories and things that I don't expect to see, stuff that's not just from the manga. Considering this is sort of like a fresh start for the series too, I can't wait to see. Hopefully it doesn't turn into Naruto GT. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'm going to give this episode right here, the very first episode, a high recommendation and a 5 out of 5. Check it out, Naruto fans, or should I say Boruto fans. If any of you did watch the very first episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Did you like the very first episode of Boruto? Did you not like it? What are your theories as to what's going on between the battle of Naruto and Kawaki? What led to this event? Did Naruto actually get killed? What's the deal with Boruto's Byakugan, and what do you want to see from the brand new Boruto anime series? Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for all things anime related, including Boruto anime reviews. Make sure to leave me a comment. I'd love to talk with you guys about this week's episode. And of course, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.